Okay, this is going to be a short video about Auran, N3V, and Trainz. Just about how Auran had bigger ambitions when designing the original version of Trainz than what ended up happening. I would assume due to hardware limitations, but we might never know, as I don't think much of the original Auran development team still exists. So I've gotten access to the Auran content library released in 2006 by Auran themselves, which has given me about 8 gigabytes worth of unused early Trainz content. Got it. Now, some people might be asking, oh, why did Auran never release these? Did the files get deleted? Even Griffin Rails, who I'll be talking about later, said,
why weren't they released? What happened to the files?
To answer why weren't they released, home computers, according to Google, didn't have the space at the time. The average was 500 megabytes to 3 gigabytes, according to Google. At least it's for the early 2000s. I looked up 2002 and I never got a specific answer. So, they probably had to cut content because there was too much content. Something I want to talk about is this promo image for Trainz. It shows an inner-city Swallow livery HST running under the bridge in British Midlands. Now, there is an inner-city Swallow livery HST in the files for the content CD. This one is blue instead of gray. And something I noticed, the blue matches up very closely to the blue seen in the version of the HST used in the base version of UTC, all the way up to Trainz 2006. Now, if you've ever seen this livery in real life, you can tell that obviously this is inaccurate, as in real life, the roof color was gray. They even fixed this when they went back and rebuilt the mesh for 2009. They made the roof gray. And judging by the fact that all of the other HST liveries are more accurate to their real-life counterpart, makes me think that this was the last edition of, we need something, we don't really have anything that fits, let's just reskin this and make you. Now, apart from the fact that they had to cut content due to the file size of the game, there was also stuff that I found in the files that means that Trainz could have been a lot more interactive than what we got. Now, in the files, in the TRS 2004 assets folder, I found there was working and final. Final seems to be just from the game. The final content that was put into the retail release of the game. Working seems to be dev assets that they got working before switching over to something entirely different. Now, in the working folder, I scrolled down and found Seaport, which in the Seaport folder, I found what seemed to be a small gantry crane. Now, looking closer, it turns out it was supposed to be a drivable, and the fact that in the files, the mesh name is gantry crane anim, and it includes the Trainz animation file, means that this had a larger use than just a scenery asset. So here's how I think it was supposed to go. The train rolls up to whatever unloading bay you have. You move the crane above the container you want to unload. You use the arms, or whatever they are, to grab the container, lift it up, move it off the train, and then onto the ground before letting go of it. Another thing I found in the files was a mesh for a damaged version of the 20-foot container, meaning that potentially if you were moving a container with the crane and you accidentally hit another container that was already on the ground, the container would have automatically switched to this damaged version. Then later I was importing scenery into Trainz from the miscellaneous asset file when I saw this fish depot. I feel like I've seen this before. Then I realized that the container station is seen in 2006 and Final use textures from the fish depot. But then I saw the gantry cranes from before. And I noticed how both of them were aligned specifically over the rail. meaning that the one on the left had been flipped around to match. Then later I was working on the revamped port section of my route when I saw the same gantry cranes used, also lined over the rails. My idea is that this gantry crane was supposed to be used in conjunction with these to have a more interactive Trainz experience. Now, I said we'd be talking about Griffin Rails later, and that later is now. It's time to go over his Ultimate Collection Iceberg video and see what has changed. And give my opinion on things, of course.
Database tunnels. On several database entries, this tunnel is seen in the photos. It's completely unique and is not available for download anywhere I can find.
I think this is a Gmax or a Max Render, one of the two softwares. What makes me think that is this HST model is visually different from the ones used in-game, specifically the coach, because it looks like the end texture is in the center, and the windows seem to match that of the one going over the door on the power car. And the scenery looks a bit too realistic, along with the lighting looking way better than any video of Ultimate Collection seen.
GUI assets. Much of the UTC GUI has textures that show assets that were never released, such as this warehouse, these houses, and I think these trees.
The warehouse is an unused. By itself it's unused, but the model itself isn't. It's the same warehouse as seen in the lumber mill assets in Trainz 2004. As for the tree and the house, I haven't been able to find anything on the house, and it's almost impossible for me to tell if a tree asset is unused. All of them are 2D. If you were to view a tree from straight down, it'd be a plus sign. So, it's almost impossible for me to tell if those trees are unused.
Wallpaper assets and errors. On the Auran website there are several wallpapers made for download. These have many unreleased things such as the tunnels from earlier. I'll now list them off. The box cover route shows off different ground textures, roads, fences, crossing lights, tracks, trees, bins and buildings. Moving on, we can see here a British Rail Class 52 Western, available on the DLS but made by Auran, with unreleased fences, building and drums.
Like the tunnel image, I believe that both of these are Gmax or Max renders, because same reason as before. The assets look too higher quality, and the lighting looks way too realistic than anything seen in Ultimate Collection. Or really, anything from that time period Trainz related. This is all I have for right now. If I have anything else, I'll probably make a second update video. And this is going to be uploaded on my main channel and the Trainz Content Archive channel. I forget the name of it. It's been a while since I've logged into it. So, bye everyone.